Welcome back to week 33. We're continuing our conversation on building high-performing teams. In the first video, we talked about just high-performing teams 101, basically the basics. And now we're going to talk about the relationship between onboarding and building high-performing teams. Man, I still love this topic, you guys. If you've already watched the first video, then you know this is something I get a little bit excited about. So, all right, onboarding. Here is what you need to know. Happy employees will stay longer. Happy employees are far more likely to transition into a high-performing team for you. And in one of the steps to making employees happy is to do a knockout job of onboarding new team members. So I recommend that you build a 90-day plan for onboarding people. You want to make sure that when you bring somebody new onto the team, that you're giving them every possible advantage to being successful in their role, right? So that means having a strategy for how they join the team, what they do on the team, and how they're learning and doing the check-ins with them, right? So when you take the time to successfully onboard an employee, they feel more connected to the job and to the team and to the company. And that's what you want. So what would an onboarding plan look like? Here is an example of onboarding that we recommend, and we've given you a template that you can take a look at for creating one, but always 90 days. I love a 90-day plan, one that's just enough time, I feel like, for people to feel really comfortable in the role and for you to know that they're going to work out with the company and to get to know them pretty well. Day one, I just make a big deal out of day one, right? You welcome people to the team. You make sure that everybody else on the team knows you've got somebody new starting. You spend time with that person going over, setting expectations on the first day of this is what you can expect in terms of the job. This is what my expectations are of you. Here's how the role is going to work. Here's how things are going to look for the first 90 days. Here's how often we're going to check in. Here are some of the things you're going to start to learn or start to do. And you kind of walk them through everything, right? And then I set up, like, for the first week, I meet with them every day, whether it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes. You're making an effort, and it's not sending a text message. It's a phone call or a face-to-face. If they're not in the same building as you, or they're out on a job site or whatever, then call them. But you want to check in. How are things going? Are you having any issues? Is there any questions you have that I can answer? What have you learned? What do you need to be successful, right? You want to check in and ask those questions and just make sure that they're okay, that things are going well. And you do that every day for the first week, every day. And on that fifth day, you're just going to tell them, hey, listen, next week, I'm just going to check in once, and I'm going to check in like in the middle of the week, or I'm going to check in at the end of the week, whatever you decide, and like see how things are going. I just want to just touch base and check in and make sure that things are good. Okay. And you're going to do that for the next 4 weeks. You're going to touch base once a week. I keep wanting to say touch in, and I don't feel like that's a word or a thing. So you're going to check in once a week for weeks 2, 3, and 4. See how they're doing. What are they learning? What questions do they have? Is there any area where they're having trouble? Do they have questions on benefits? Like, what do they need to know to be successful in their job? How are things going with the team members? You've introduced them to other people on the team. They're starting to learn things. They've got their goals and things set up for them for these first 90 days. Then after week 4, you're not going to really touch base with them again until they are on their day 60 and then day 90. Now, if it's a direct report of yours, you're going to have weekly one-on-ones with them to see how things are going. So you're still talking to them. It's not like they're going a month without getting any feedback or talking to anybody, but you're not doing your onboarding check-in but once a month for the last 2 months, right? And on that 90th day, you're going to make a big damn deal out of the fact that it's their 90th day. Take them to lunch. Like, really make a big deal out of it, because it is a big deal, and you want the employees to feel special, right? You want them to know that you are so glad that they are there and that they are part of the team. One of the other hot tips that I have for you: don't ever, 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 ever make your employees spend their first day or their first week just sitting there and reading some manual on something. Don't do it. Don't. It's a horrible way to start a job. Nobody likes to do it. If you can teach them something or get them engaged in something right away, and then they can start learning from a manual on week 2 or 3, and don't make it an everyday, all day type of a thing. Just don't do it. People don't typically learn that way. So give them things they can work on where they're adding value and delivering things as quickly as you possibly can. You want to get them engaged. You want to get them moving. And you want to get them feeling like what they're going to feel like when they're doing their job on day 91 or day 180 or a year into their job. So keep that in mind when you're onboarding people. Don't make them sit and read. Nobody likes to just sit and read. Get them engaged, regular check-ins, regular feedback, big damn deal when they hit the 90th day. Take them to lunch. Let your employees know that you care about their success and that you're invested in their success. That's what you need to take away from why you do onboarding. As always, if you have questions, reach out, hit us up on the monthly live Q&A, and keep pushing forward and get those onboarding plans developed.